And what is the outlook looking for Q2? Should we see a revenue growth? What would your projection be on revenues and margins for the full year now?
See, good morning, Rima. As you would have seen in the first quarter, see, although we see a 5.6% drop in the overall revenue compared to the same quarter last year, but given the market conditions or the overall conditions of the COVID, I think this is appreciable performance. And what we have observed in the first quarter is that our business model is quite robust. Our O&M was operating at the full speed, so O&M revenues have not been impacted at all. As far as India market is concerned, in spite of a very, very severe lockdown, our people were working from home. And given our EPC model, our engineering and procurement, kept on going on. And that's something which has helped us. Only the construction for almost 2.5 months at a lot of sites is something which impacted us adversely as far as India is concerned. When we look at the overseas markets, whether it is Europe or Middle East, we realized, that our revenues, other than, maybe for 8-10 days, it got impacted. The lockdown was not severe. With the revised conditions, the construction was allowed. And that is something which has helped us reach where we are. Had it not been for such a severe lockdown, I'm sure that we would have been another 15-20% up compared to what figures we have already produced.
Okay, all right. Mr. Chopra, I get that point. It's quite a good performance given that we were locked down for bulk of the first quarter. But give us a few details. Have things recovered now, in terms of utilization levels? If I compare quarter two with quarter two of last year, what kind of a percentage are we at? And also the rest of the world business did well. Could you split it up geographically?
Yeah, see, as far as if you see the first quarter, I think around 23% came from our operations and maintenance compared to a normal 15%, and 77% came from the EPC. Similarly, if I look at overseas, I think overseas has contributed less, but compared to our targets, we were almost there for what we had planned. And going forward, in this particular quarter, we see that construction activity, right, from the month of July, it has already picked up. I would not say it is at 100%. Maybe we are at, say, 80-85% in India. But as far as overseas is concerned, we are at our normal productivity level.
Okay.
So going forward, when we look at these 3 quarters, we are more than sure that, unless there is something very untoward like COVID lockdowns again, we feel that these 3 quarters, we should be substantially higher compared to what we have done in the past.
So would a double-digit kind of growth be likely in each of the subsequent 3 quarters?
See, I cannot give the exact figure, but whatever we foresee now, that, given the normalcy which has happened in most of the places now, we feel that given our robust order backlog, we will definitely have a much better figure compared to the past. And also, as you mentioned, we are in the process of getting this 120 crore additional, which is fundraising. So that will give further impetus to our execution, and we feel that our execution will further pace up with the additional inflow of working capital into the execution.
Give us a sense then in terms of what is the current receivables position, if you could quantify it. And also, how is your balance sheet looking post getting this 120 crores?
See, first thing is this 120 crores, we have only got a board approval. It is still subject to shareholders' approval at the AGM, which is scheduled on 23rd of this month. So that is there. So obviously, it will definitely strengthen our balance sheet. As far as receivables are concerned, we have one odd receivable, which is probably looking, it is this. Other than that, I think receivables are well within control. Our collection has only improved. We have been able to generate, free cash flow, if you see, and we have been able to reduce our debt.
Okay.
So in the whole process, if you see, I think other than one particular receivable, the balance, our business model is still robust. We are on the growth path, and we don't foresee anything going forward.
Mr. Chopra, if you could quantify that, what is the current receivables position, that one sticky account, how much does that account for? And you said you're very comfortable on the debt front. So what is the debt? What is the net cash in your books? If you could get some numbers, receivables, the quantity of that, that one particular big account, and also your balance sheet. Go ahead, sir.
See, we have only, say, around, we have only one particular, number, which is around, which is the Gencos, which is there, which is around 450 crores. Other than that, if I look at my total receivables, it is at around, 78 days, which is much, in line with the average of the industry. So we don't foresee that, there is any challenge. And on this, we have already stated that, it is one particular case is sub judice. The other one is something where we have to yet to, complete some milestones. So other than these two, as far as, the cash flow is concerned, our balanced cash flow is already intact. And we find that going forward, it is further going to improve as we have, exhibited it in the past 3 quarters.
What is the debt right now, Mr. Chopra? And by the end of this fiscal year, what could it look like?
I think we have already mentioned what is our total debt as of now in our presentation. But going forward, we only feel that it is going to further reduce with the inflow of, the fresh working capital. And we have already raised around 120 crores, as you said. We have a board approval of raising 400 crores. So as and when required to, further infuse more working capital, which we term as growth capital, we'll keep on raising, and definitely it will come down. I may not be able to give you the exact figure of where we will be at the end of the year.